My name is David Allgood. I am chair of the Kentucky Council of Developmental Disabilities. We have Commissioner Hall with us today to help answer some questions and facilitate some of this ongoing process about the SCL waiver. I want to thank you for agreeing to join us tonight and take some of the questions. And I wanted to make sure that everyone signed in, if you would please, and if you all, any of you all interested in serving on the council, which is a good opportunity for you all to take advantage and have your voice heard in the developmental disability community. There are some applications right there in the corner of the table. We'd love to have some individuals sign up, and if you could go even out on the outskirts of the state, we'd would like to have some statewide representation on the council. We have a lot of concentrations in northern Lexington and Louisville areas, the Golden Triangle. We really would like to get some diversification statewide on the council. So if you all know any individuals that would like to do that, they're on the eastern and western parts of the state, would be grateful if you all could refer those individuals to us. It's a good meeting. Good council, should I say. We meet 4 times a year and try to facilitate some interesting projects to help individuals with developmental disabilities get greater access to transportation, jobs, working, all kinds of opportunities that we try to facilitate and encourage those individuals to take advantage of. And we have created some great partnerships, I think, over the last 6 years that I've been on the council. So it's been a very good, I think, win-win for individuals across the board. And we want to thank you all for coming, and the commissioner will give us a little brief overview, and then we'll be happy to take some questions. And we thanks again for coming tonight, and the show is yours.
Oh, thanks. Hey, well, just wanted to just have this meeting to answer questions. You know, we talk a lot of provider groups have a lot of access to me and to the staff of the that do deliver developmental disability services here, and then we tend to go out. Tomorrow I'll be up in Covington meeting with providers, and I've tried to meet with probably I guess at this time about 20 of the developmental disability providers in the state. And some of those providers, family members are there, and I get to see folks with disabilities, and sometimes I don't. And so it's I find it's pretty effective and important for family members to hear maybe what we're thinking about with the new the waivers and what we're thinking about with service and supports to people. So maybe just talk a little bit and then answer questions. You know, any specific questions you might have. You know, kind of what we're thinking. We're in process working with Medicaid to. I think we meet, I think, once a week, and then work through, you know, process after process, trying to figure out, well, how can we improve these new waivers that are mostly provide the residential services to people with developmental disabilities. So let me just maybe overall give a little talk about what we're trying to do. It just is that you know, I've been throughout Kentucky. I've been to just about every county and communities already, probably about 30 different types of road trips to different places, and here's what's unique, I think. And some of you know my work in Georgia and Colorado and Virginia and Indiana, but what's unique about Kentucky is that when I've ever been to other places, I've done consulting in many different states, maybe a little over half of the states, and I've always had to say, well, you need to go up to Oregon to see how they're doing things there, or you need to go over to Wisconsin to see this, or you need to go to you know, North Carolina to see this, or Kentucky to see this. I've always said you need to go to different places to see things, but not in Kentucky. In Kentucky is the one place where that I never have been a place like this, where everything that's going on really, really well, some of the very, very best services you've ever seen are going on at different places in Kentucky, whether it be services for people with developmental disabilities or people with mental health needs. So what we have are these pockets of excellence that are just stunning in how good they are, and how smart the services are, and how good the services people are. But then none of it's widespread. That is, it's not overall. So we end up with some pretty horrible report cards. And on the mental health side, we get the only state's got back-to-back Fs on the NAMI report card, as far as its overall performance for folks. And then we're doing a lot about that. And then with people with developmental disabilities, you know, employment. Kentucky used to be in the early 80s in the top 10 in employment of people with developmental disabilities in real jobs in the community. Today we're 50th. Today we rank last in that. in Kentucky, you're less likely to have a real job in the community if you have a developmental disability as compared to any other state. That don't seem right considering how good folks are. Particularly, you know, I won't be visiting this place near south of Cincinnati in Covington tomorrow. I'll be going to another place. But one place I visited near Cincinnati a couple months ago, it turned out that 75% of all people with developmental disabilities that go to that organization that's funded through the North Key Community Mental Health Center, but that go to that organization, then have a real job in the community. And that's just kind of stunning. So that's, again, another example of how you'll get parts of Kentucky, you'll see some of the, and by the way, the people, you might think, oh, those people must just serve really high-functioning people. No, not the case at all. You know, some of the people have extremely challenging medical and behavioral support needs, yet have real jobs in the community. So, again, a lot of it based on, you know, where folks are. And then, you know, there's medications. You know, people with developmental disabilities in Kentucky take more medications than any other state. You know, that bothers us a lot. That doesn't seem like it should be. But the one data that bothers me the most is this one, and that is loneliness. It turns out that people with developmental disabilities that, again, this is a national survey as comparison of states, are lonelier than any other state. And what we find is that that in the states where people with developmental disabilities aren't so lonely, then it turns out that what they have is friendships and relationships, contacts and connections with other people that don't have disabilities besides their own family members. That is, that the supports and services that's provided to them have been able to be provided in a way that where their sons and daughters are able to meet other people besides just other people with developmental disabilities. That is, they've been able to develop other people besides just their family members or just other people with disabilities or people who are paid to be with them to be a part of their lives. And it looks like that is what makes the difference. That is, and so what that looks like, it means that people with developmental disabilities then are in church, you know, attend church. They are part of clubs or groups or associations. Listen to this data. This is Kentucky data, not somebody else's data. If you are employed in a real job in the community, you are 2.5 times more likely to attend church. Now, I'm not preaching, you know. I'm just saying I find that interesting. What's employment have to do with? Somebody got to answer that. I don't know. Have to do with church? I think it just means people are out more. You know, I don't know. You know, or maybe the collection plate. Maybe they require you to put in $15 if you're going to have a job. I don't know. No, I don't know what it might be. But so what we're trying to do with the new waivers and what we're trying to do with these supports and services and changes that we're suggesting with the SCL waiver, later with the Michelle P. waiver, later with other new waivers we might write for people with mental health needs and developmental disabilities, later with different changes in policy that we're suggesting in this department that we make across all is what we're trying to do is to say it just seems like that these citizens haven't done anything wrong. And that's what the big kind of difference is that there are people that do things wrong that are kept away from the rest of us. People who break serious laws that because of that, then they're put in places separate from us. And there's other people that do things that aren't so nice that you need to be over here with other people that maybe don't do things nice. But that's not the case with people with developmental disabilities. These folks didn't do anything wrong. They were born or before the age of 22 developed significant disabilities, and a decent society, by most accounts, the worth of a society is determined by our treatment of these most vulnerable members. And in good societies, these most vulnerable members then are a part of us, not separate from us, and are part of what we're doing. So we want to try to make service and supports much more flexible and much more accommodating so that these folks can be much more a part of our society.